2024 Honda Civic is a compact car that can be had in sedan or hatchback body styles. Performance variants are on tap, too. It compares to other versatile compacts such as the Toyota Corolla, Hyundai Elantra, and Mazda 3. The big news for the 2024 Honda Civic isn't even 2024 news at all. Next year, the Civic gains a hybrid powertrain that's related to the one in the redesigned Honda Accord. More on that later. The Civic was redesigned in 2022 to be longer, cleaner, and more modern. Balanced proportions, smooth sides, a long nose, and smart ends that don't try too hard to stick out make it one of the more attractive compact sedans on the market, never betraying its budget car status. The Civic Si sports flashier colors, a rear spoiler, and slightly different bumpers with a rear one that shows off dual exhaust pipes. The Civic hatchback carries some of the fanboy enthusiasm into its design, mostly due to its stubbed tail and shorter length by 4.3 inches. The Civic's rally aspirations are most pronounced in the type or hot hatch with its giant rear wing lording over 3 center exhaust pipes. Inside, Honda dresses up the Civic by toning it down. The clean dash sports a honeycomb metallic pattern that hides the vents, and metallic accents on switches give it some pop from an otherwise monochromatic finish. A 7-inch or available 9-inch touchscreen emerges from the dash like an add-on, but at least there are volume and tuning knobs. The console fits cup holders, a drive mode selector, and a mechanical gear selector of the automatic or manual kind. The automatic selector connects to a continuously variable transmission in the base model. It pairs to an easily winded 2-liter inline-4 that makes 158 horsepower and 138 pound-foot of torque. A 1.5-liter turbo 4 for EX and Touring trims adds some pop at 180 horsepower and 177 pound-foot, same as in the hatchback's EXL and Sport Touring trims. An optional 6-speed manual gives the Civic much more character in Sport and Sport Touring trims of the hatchback, as well as in the Civic Si, where the manual is standard. The Civic Si can only be had as a sedan, however. Its Turbo 4 makes 200 horsepower and 192 pound-foot, and its performance pleases even if it doesn't punch too much. The top of the performance lineup once again belongs to the Civic Type R that uses a 2-liter Turbo 4 tuned to 315 horsepower and 310 pound-foot, with a 0 to 60 miles per hour time in the low 5-second range. The base Civic LX sedan and hatchback start in the mid-$20,000 and come with a 7-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, as well as a suite of driver assist tech that includes automatic emergency braking, active lane control, adaptive cruise control, and automatic high beams. The Civic Sport starts the sedan bidding at $1,000 more. The Civic sedan shares a blunt front end with the hatchback, and its sloping hood line creates a prominent brow across the front end. Faired-in headlights lend a sleek and we think timeless look. In profile, the fastback lines of the sedan were better than the hatchback, which bulges where the sedan tapers. So many of the cut lines and trim bits have been simplified here versus the prior Civic that it's obvious even to car unenthusiasts. Less is more here, and we're inclined to agree. For distinction, the Civic Si wears its own body trim and more paint colors, along with 18-inch wheels. The Type R opens up its front end for better air intake, and it straps on a big rear wing and lower ground effects down the sides. It's still in your face, but friendlier than before. The Civic interior hits a new high-water mark for Honda. Simple and elegant, it's highlighted by a mesh strip that spans the dash and cloaks the air vents, while it extends tiny joysticks for vent control. It's a subtle call-out to everything from Atari to BlackBerry to ThinkPads that seems as clever as it is purposeful. A big touchscreen and digital readouts bring the rest of the cockpit up to a certain speed, while the Civic Si and Type R bring on the red cloth and carpet to remind you, as if you'd forgotten, that those are the spicy Civics. Honda suits up the lower-end Civics with its 158 horsepower 2-liter inline-4. Power goes through a CVT to the front wheels, and though it's a more freewheeling and rev-friendly transmission than most of its kind, these Civics have pedestrian acceleration and a fair amount of drivetrain noise, which CVTs exacerbate. They keep engines revving in the middle of their power bands. In the Civic Si, Honda dials up the boost to make 200 horsepower, which pushes the car to 60 miles per hour in under 7 seconds. Torque peaks low at about 1,800 RPM, and the manual transmission, the only transmission offered, takes full advantage of that. Still, we choose the 315 horsepower version of the same engine as it's installed in the body. Civic Type R, good for 310 pound-feet here. The engine can sear off pavement in 60 miles per hour, 5-second chunks like good ribeye. The Civic Si and Honda firms up the suspension and steering all around, turning the Civic into a rapid-fire corner cutter. But to experience Honda's ability to transform ordinary running gear into something mythic, drive a Civic Type R. It gets adaptive dampers to quell its very firm ride, while it dials in unflappable handling that's at home on an amazing variety of roads. Bomb down a canyon road or cruise a coastal highway, either way the Civic Type R has your back, and your seat, and your fingertips, all at once. The Civic has been Honda's small car for most of its history, but with the HR-V around and the Accord growing larger, the current Civic now slots into a mid-size category. As a result, it's spacious and cargo-friendly more than ever. For its front seats we award an extra point that brings it to a 6 here, but hatchbacks have cargo area that would be worth another point if rated separately. With a wheelbase longer than 183 inches, today's Civic measures up against the Accord of just a couple of generations ago. It's spacious all around as a result, and it's stocked with comfortable front seats with cloth upholstery and manual adjustment. Power seats come with higher-end versions. In the rear seats, Honda ensures easier access with wide doors, but the low roofline means tall people will need to stoop to gain access. Once inside, it's no issue with the Civic's 37.1 inches of rear seat legroom or its ample headroom. Cheaper versions don't get fold-down rear seats, but most Civics can flip down the seatbacks to expand cargo space. Sedans start with about 15 cubic feet, while hatchbacks up the ante with nearly 25 cubic feet of space behind the back bench. Honda boosted the Civic's vibe in this generation with a strip of metal mesh that spans the dash, joystick vent controls, and bigger touchscreens. It's not a luxury car, but it's a very well-presented one nonetheless. All Civics come with automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, active lane control, and automatic high beams. Parking sensors and blind spot monitors are widely available. We'd recommend them since the Civic's thick roof pillars cut into the view over the shoulders. That is it for today. Make sure to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed the video so far.